Radio.com.
For this Monday, phone number here is 855-400-SAVAGE, 400-7282. We're talking about basically the myth of global warming. It was global warming, then it was climate change. Why don't you ask your left-wing friends whatever happened to acid rain? Remember in the 80s we were going to lose all of our forests in the northern hemisphere unless mankind went back to the rickshaw and started to ride on the back of mules. Apparently acid rain was dropped and then someone cooked up, global warming. Well, here are 8 arguments against global warming for those of you who have no scientific background. It's important to know because Obama is about to hammer you with a world tax and then cap and trade legislation. It's unbelievable what he gets away with. But then again, General Electric is making billions of dollars by working hand in glove with Mr. Obama. They're very smart. They've got a great act going together. Many of his friends have benefited from fake solar companies, fake solar contracts, whether it be in San Francisco or Nevada. Windmills to nowhere. Windmills to nowhere, generating electricity sufficient to light a candle. Cost about $1 million a candle watt. So here are 8 reasons that you can use against global warming. 1, most scientists do not believe human activities threaten to disrupt the Earth's climate. That's right, most don't. It's mostly politicians and those in the science government complex who receive government grants who circulate the lie. More than 17,000 scientists have said no, that there is no convincing scientific evidence that human release of carbon dioxide, methane, or other greenhouse gases is causing or will cause in the foreseeable future a catastrophic heating of the Earth's atmosphere and disruption of the Earth's climate. 2, our most reliable sources of temperature data show no global warming trend. In fact, no warming since readings began 23 years ago. 3, global climate computer models are too crude to predict future climate changes. That's too complicated for you. 4, the IPCC, that's a governmental panel put together by international governments, which means it's an extension of UN Think, the corrupt UN that's doing nothing to stop the slaughter of elephants, is now telling you that the climate is being slaughtered and that you have to pony up more money. It's all alarmism and gangsterism. 5, by the way, a modest amount of global warming, should it occur, would be beneficial to the natural world and to human civilization, as I've told you, tongue-in-cheek for several years now, because the fools who are talking about it, who usually never went to college, or if they did, never took a science course, or if they took a science course, they would understand that it was only when temperatures warmed up during the medieval warm period, roughly 800 to 1200 AD, that allowed the Vikings to settle presently inhospitable Greenland, because of the warmer temperatures. The warmer temperatures melted the ice, and the Vikings were able to settle Greenland. And the fact of the matter is, there are other examples which show you that a warmer climate would have similar effect on the health and welfare of our own far more advanced and adaptable civilization today. In other words, a slight warming wouldn't be the catastrophe that Al Corleone, the head of the criminal enterprise, the Corleone crime family, in my cynical comedy, would believe you to believe. Shall I go on, or you've had enough? Would you like to hear more about this? Is there no time for common sense in the world? Is there no time for science in the world today? See, science means that you debate things through evidence. Obama is a demagogue in almost every sphere of his speeches, including the global warming speech, where he says, all scientists agree now that global warming exists and it's going to cause a catastrophe and sea levels to rise. Well, first of all, not all scientists agree. Secondly, science is one of discovery and challenging theories and finding evidence to prove your theory, both pro and con, until you arrive at the truth. But don't tell that to this current crop of propagandists who would have made Lysenko happy. See, the Soviet Union once had scientists of the type we now have in America. Our scientists today are largely like our so-called journalists today. They're stenographers for the government. And whatever the government says they should say, they say. Now, the government doesn't sit them down and say you have to believe this, but it tells the PhDs that here's the grants. You're only going to get them if you follow this line of thinking and prove it. or otherwise you'll be out on the cold and get nothing. That's how they control us, through the purse strings. So there it is. 1-855-400-SAVAGE. If you don't want anything as heavy as that, we're going to go back to other topics here. Family, Festival of Lights, things of that.